Welcome back to the channel. The name of the channel is CAD with Mr. Hugh, and in the previous video we looked at design considerations, factors that you would take into consideration before you design the product. In today's video, we'll be looking at the factors that determine the appropriateness of the design. So we'll start the video now. What we'll be doing, we'll be choosing a product or item that we will use for the exercise, which is to determine the factors of appropriateness of a design. After we choose a product or item that we will use for the exercise, we will use the following criteria on the following slides to do the factors that determine the appropriateness of a design. Criteria number 1. Aesthetics. For designers, the aesthetic appeal of a product is often top of the selection criteria. Internal and external finishes are dependent upon the materials used. Criteria number 2, functionality, which is a purpose. So this criteria is chiefly designed around from the point of view of use. Whether the building is functional from the viewpoint of the client is quickly established. Whether or not it is functional for the building users take a little longer to establish. Criteria number 3, economics, financial factors. Good design is rarely possible within the fees offered by clients. Designers also make use of standard components to reduce cost. Savings can also be made by carefully selecting the best material and manufacturing process for the item being designed. Criteria number 4, the environment. When designing products, the designer must consider the effect on pollution levels that their design will have. The product and its manufacture may also be influenced by legislation which controls pollution outputs. There has also been a major shift in public interest in environmental issues, and many people take this into account when purchasing a product. Criteria number 5, ergonomics. This is the art and science of designing the work to fit the worker to achieve optimum productivity and cost efficiency and minimum risk of injury. Criteria number 6, suitability of material. When choosing the materials for a product, the designer must consider a number of factors. There are 3 main factors that the designer must take into account. The first one is use of product. The second one is quantity to be manufactured. That is quantity of components to be manufactured. And thirdly, the market niche, which would influence the cost. If you're in a market niche rather than a mass market, in a market niche, you can command a higher selling cost per unit that you're selling the product to the customer because you're in a niche market rather than a mass market. In a mass market, you'd have to sell the product cheaply. Criteria number 7, innovation. Products which appear on the market sometimes do so as a result of the technological innovation. Sometimes the new technology has obvious application and sometimes not. Sometimes technology is transferred from one application to another. Criteria number 8, decoration. The choice of finish of a product is influenced by similar factors to those affecting the choice of materials. That is, firstly, the use of product, secondly, the quantity to be manufactured, and thirdly, the niche market. So this criteria is similar to the criteria number 6, and criteria number 6 is suitability of material. Criteria number 9, anthropometrics is a science concerned with the measurement of humankind. Inevitably, it is bound up with statistics as people vary considerably in most dimensions. Anthropometrics is of critical importance to architects as the ultimate basis of the design of most buildings must be the size of the people using them. Criteria number 10, selection of material. The selection of material has to take into account how the product or component will be used and in what environment or environments it will be used in. So there are 10 factors that determine the appropriateness of a design. The first one, criteria 1, is aesthetics. The second criteria is functionality. The third criteria is economics. The fourth criteria is environment. The fifth criteria is ergonomics. The sixth criteria is selection of material. The seventh criteria is innovation. The eighth criteria is decoration. The ninth criteria is anthropometrics, and the 10th criteria is selection of material. So this brings us to the end of today's video. In the next video, I'll be showing you an example of a product that I have selected, and I'll be using it to explain the factors that determine the appropriateness of a design. So this brings us to the end of the video, and we looked at the factors that determine the appropriateness of a design. If you found the information useful, then perhaps you could subscribe, press the notification bell, click the like button, share and subscribe, and or comment.